Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to week 3 of Australian Esports University League, presented to you by AEL. My name is the Russian Cthulhu. I'm joined by the wonderful Spudoom. How you doing, my man?
I am good, and I'm so excited for this game. It's going to be a blast.
Exactly, yeah. We have actually quite an interesting matchup for tonight on our hands. It is going to be RMIT Purple versus against USYD Roaring Thunder. Now, the two teams had a pretty interesting run overall. Both teams have seen a little bit of supposedly a bit of an upset, a bit of a couple dubs as well. Well, not a couple, but one dub as for themselves. So, overall, points-wise, they are looking pretty solid for themselves. But honestly, a few very stark different storylines are forming up here, I feel. Any kind of initial thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, RMIT Purple, they've had to take on the top seed in their group for their very first round, and they lost that 2-0. And then they had a bit of an easier match going up against University of Newcastle. They did that was their seed number 7, so they did manage to win that 2-0. On the other hand, USYD has had a fairly smooth sailing so far. They've had games against teams which are around their seeding, so and they've won both of those. So really, I think for the first time, this is a real challenge for USYD here. They're going up against the second seed here, and for RMIT Purple, this is their opportunity to get some of those points back and really, stay in the running for getting into those playoff stages. So USYD also has a chance, of course, to prove themselves and show that they're not just a 5th seed team. They can actually play with some of the big boys here as well.
Well, we'll get to see exactly that very soon. Let's have a look at the rosters as well, coming right your way, presented by the wonderful people at the Chatime. Chatime is a fresh iced tea, and you can try the new range today at your local store, and it's the fastest growing iced tea franchise in Australia. Over 120 Chatime tea breweries with a commitment to quality ingredients and mix-ins and a flair of innovative flavor combinations as well coming your way. But RMIT Purple, Deep, Last Fire, Nanaman, Sweet Extremes, and Taco. The roster so far that has seen 1 win and 1 loss to their name so far throughout the season.
Yeah, and Sweet Extremes and Nanamin, I believe, have played in this particular league before. Last season, they were on another RMIT team, so definitely lots of experience to be bringing here. As for Deep, Last Fire, and Taco, I personally haven't seen them, but I think it'll be still great to see some of these newer players and see how they stack up in this particular league. As for USYD, I actually believe that we have some known names as well, if we can get that on screen, perhaps. Oh, there we go. And yeah, so we have Borkybok, Daptao, Kadeem, Shanks, and Simple D. And of those members, I believe Borkybok and Kadeem have also played on their USYD teams. That would be last season as well. So definitely kind of that level of experience as well. Shanks will be their IGL, and he is a little new to this, but so far he has performed admirably. He has led his team to a 2-0 victory in the first round and a 1-1 tie it was in the second round. So overall, doing very well, these two teams. So lots of experience and lots of new players as well, and we're going to see how that turns out for both of these teams. What do you think in terms of seeding and how these teams are placed? Do you think it will be really one-sided, or do you think it will be a little more even?
I get a feeling that we might actually see something across the lines of maybe something like a 7-3, 7-4. I still think that a team like RMIT Purple, seeing as there's quite a few variations of the RMIT teams in the league, they have a slight advantage that they can kind of practice in-house, develop their own in-house strategies and everything. And so they may be the favorites here. Genuinely quite to see what will happen look in match. But our first map is Clubhouse, coming right up with RMIT actually defending first here. And honestly, I feel like this is going to be their advantage here. The Clubhouse, at least in my recent memories, has been slightly leaning towards the defender side if you play your cards right, and if you can play it out in a either very defensive manner, or if you just crank the aggression to the maximum. And for attack, they get a very solid chance to just completely retaliate on each and every mistake that a defense can make here. So with these bans so far, it looks like USYD actually are planning to just completely try to deny, at least in some shape or form, the roam clear. So possibly when they get on the defense, we might see something like a few roamers upstairs, maybe once they plan, say, something like a church and arsenal room.
Yeah, I mean, the Jackal ban is really quite a common ban, not just in, Pro League, but also in ranked. And players that just feel a lot more comfortable taking that off the board. And as you mentioned, it does allow for a lot of that roam style, especially as we've seen the famous SSG roam on Clubhouse in particular. To round off the bans, we do have a Thatcher and a Kaid ban, which is again very common. Thatcher being taken off the board means players will have to rely on some of that Sophia tricking, Maverick to open the wall. And Kaid has been taken off. It does make getting those hatches on the basement a little bit easier, especially now that that Thatcher is gone, of course. So, and finally, we do have the mirror ban, again, a very common ban. So, no Spanish players allowed today. It looks like we will not be seeing a mirror or a jackal as we go into our first round. CCTV and cache is the site, very common site, and usually the primary site for most teams, I believe.
Yes, the CCTV in cash room is one of those kind of became a very much of a primary site for quite a few rosters. It's pretty flexible in the way how you want to defend it. It allows you to play from below and deny, say, the plant in the late game. You can play very much up close and personal around the CCTV area, as well as that. The obviously you can always expand onto the logistics office, or even better yet, the master bedroom. So there are quite a few ways to really bring this map to, or rather bring this site to life. And looking at the lineup here from RMIT Purple, they certainly looking to try to deny a little bit of the information, but as well as that gain plentiful from that, seeing as Valkyrie has managed to actually make it past the ban phase as well.
Yeah, but Borky Bork has actually brought that IQ, so that we'll be able to find some of that information tools and maybe hopefully disable them as well as some of those mute jammers. No reliance on Bandit here, which is interesting, preferring only to bring I think mute jammers. Looking now like the attack is going to be moving in from this kind of garage side as well. Opening up that garage is really useful just for playing, getting rid of those players on that catwalk position, which is one of those key power positions you really want to be taking here. But as you mentioned, it doesn't look like we have too much of an extension, mostly on this site here, with one player actually lurking down below. Bit of setup going on here. Shanks is starting to get this wall open. Good progress so far, only about still more than 2 minutes left on the clock, and he hasn't taken any damage, but he's got to watch those feetsies very, very soon, I believe.
Yeah, I would imagine at least somebody should be there to watch out for those peak holes, as last fire is there and ready and prepared. Grenade might be flying in, but that's gonna get chewed up by the ADS grenade. But look, overall, I'm definitely liking the setup that the attack has brought in. They covering both setups here for themselves. They have the Zofia to very quickly get rid of those, say, mute jammers or bandit batteries if they were any, as well as that the IQ is there for kind of, I suppose, like a backup plan, as well as that an amazing fragging operator as well. But oh, sweet dreams. Well, good nights, Kadim, from above, from a very nice opening in the floor.
And that's definitely an operator you don't want to be losing here. Sophia brings so much utility and just ability to flush out plays, especially when you're going for that final plant with those concussion grenades, and no answer either for it. Sweet X has gotten away safely, but Taco is taken down now. I believe that was from the breach, most likely. So it is a 4v4. Minute left on the clock now, and not much progress apart from opening that wall has been made into sight. Borky Bork is underneath, looking to get some picks on the gadgets, but two players holding here strong on top of red stairs and the cache. It's going to make it difficult for them to push up from underneath, especially if that smoke is still able to deny so much time. And it looks like the attack has actually stalled out a little bit here.
It certainly looks that way. Deep, fantastic C4 from below reads in perfectly into the position of Damp Towels, Nomad, and pretty much denies the whole flank from there on now for USYD. This is going to be an issue. They are very much stalled out, 30 seconds remaining, and they need to make a push. Oddly enough, the access to the rafters was given away relatively quickly, but Nanamin is there to ensure that that is as far as they will be able to go. Another smoke grenade is coming out, and look, right now this is an issue for USYD to make past it. Finally, Shanks does manage to get in and goes in for the plan, but it is a 1v3 situation. There is in no shape or form it is favorable for him.
And he does get the plant down, manages to catch one. He manages to get away with the rotate, gets a few bullets off, but is he going to come through the breach? Gets the duck onto that shot. There's 2 players left, but the shotgun takes him out. A triple kill for SweetX as he's just on a slither of health. That was so very, very close. But it looks like the diffuser will be popped again, and RMIT Purple take the first defensive round. I have to say that was some good openings. Especially with opening that wall. They didn't spend all their time, going for the bottom of the Maverick wall as well. Sorry, the bottom of that CCTV wall. They used a grenade to clear out the mute jammers. But I feel like there was a couple of issues, and the main one was kind of that pace of that attack. Once they opened up that wall, I felt it was a very slow kind of push. They kind of put one or two people downstairs and slowly pushed up, but they didn't really take the key power positions like garage and getting into those catwalk until very late. And although they were able to get refrags, ultimately I think it was the pace which brought them down. They weren't able to go for the plant or an execute until very, very late, and by then they were kind of rushed for time as well. So I would like to see, USYD try to speed things up a little bit, play a little bit more coordinated and a little bit more confidently as well. We've seen they can hit those shots. I think they just need to actually follow up on that.
Yeah, it definitely looked like they were a little bit slow on, say, the info gathering game, and certainly maybe the drones were looking a little bit maybe too far away from some of these positions. So yeah, maybe for this very side they will be able to up their game, because obviously, yeah, like you said, it was a really solid few openings. But gotta say, Deep, with his denial of the flank as well, with the C4 and the info gathering, his Valkyrie cameras hasn't really been counted that much, really, even with the fact that USYD Roaring Thunder been bringing in the IQ. It seemed like it's just kind of been given free real estate to the Valkyrie.
Yeah, the Valkyrie really has been able to have a lot of control and reign. She just hasn't really been droned at or actually pursued. She kind of just, she does her thing, she just walks around, fires those shots, gets a C4 off, and she doesn't really get punished for it. So I really would like to see USYD kind of clear out that roam and really punish, players who try to sneak up on the flank. So as you mentioned, a bit of drone work, making sure those drones are being watched and players can't just, get free picks and get away with it.
Exactly. Well, we're already seeing the first entry into the building. That is Kadim making his way over. But interestingly enough, actually, 2-player roam upstairs by RMIT Purple. We'll be seeing Jaeger and Valkyrie actually team up. Damn Towel might be able to cut them off on rotation, but it's not in particularly any shape or form active there. For RMIT Purple roamers, they wouldn't really need to even rotate through the main staircase. Yeah, they can just go straight on towards the construction site and kind of go from there. And better yet, that is probably the more optimal way, since this is where they're going to be encountering the majority of those players. See, even the C4 comes around, a small opening in the floor, you already get the angle onto Borky or Simple D, and that is going to be an issue. But for USYD Roar, this is a fantastic opportunity, knowing that only a few players are actually going to be on site, and Sweet Dreams is the first person who could be going down to flat out just rush in through the hatch.
And Deep and Taco are both looking to drop this red stand in this oil pit and looking to point onto Borky, and Borky isn't quite aware. Nanami is able to get one onto Damp Towel, and it looks like Borky is sitting all by himself. Simple D as well is nearby, but will he get the refrag? Looks like that's a lot of time wasted by these roamers. They haven't actually had to engage, but they've just managed to waste that time. They don't need to actually fire a shot when you're just afraid of being shot at. And now, if Borky isn't careful, they could actually hit him on the flank here and really shut down this blue tunnel attack. So much utility denied here, but at the end of the day, the best utility denial is a gun. You take out the player, there's not much they can do.
Exactly. Deep is still right upstairs, ready for that late flank. And already there's actually Kadeem on site. Absolutely managed to sneak right past everyone, but straight off the bat gets denied by Last Fire. Fantastic peek. And yet another pixel peek as well there with the bullet holes. Absolutely shuts down the push by Borky. Ready, it's Shanks and Simple D, who are currently the last players standing. Shanks finding the shot onto Sweet Dreams, but Last Fire finishes off Borky. It is finally a 2v3. The plant did go down, but Last Fire is just absolutely clinical with that ulti. Does get finally taken out. So it's down to Shanks with half HP to deny the push for 30 more seconds against Deep and Nanamin.
Does he have... He does have flashbangs, but it looks like he's not using that to deny some of these angles. He's peeking two things at once, but it's a solo peek, one at a time, not the way you want to be playing. Shotgun ringing out now. C4 goes out, but doesn't quite hit him. He's 16 seconds left, gets one, a triple kill. Refrag, but is there enough time? There is just enough time. 11 seconds, he finds the diffuser, and that's going to be a last-minute clutch by the teeth, but a win nevertheless for RMIT Purple as they take their second defense round. Again, I think we're seeing a very similar theme here that's playing out. Again, it's the kind of the slow timing of the attack and then that last minute rush. They're not committing so much to their pushes, and we saw that with Borky, waiting on those red stairs, and they could have actually cut off some of these roamers as they came back to site down those red stairs and 3 garage, but they weren't able to actually pick them off. And in the end, that was their undoing. It was the Valkyrie who took out that very last player and denied that diffuser, taking out the bomb. So a little more speed and maybe a little more commitment to that roam clear would really pay off. Nevertheless, I think that was a great, Hail Mary attempt at the end. They just went for it. Forget about control, just get the diffuser down. And I think RMIT were caught a little off guard, didn't really expect that angle attack. In fact, I don't think we actually saw them dropping that hatch. I think we were a little caught off guard as well, that they just went through Moto and just went for it.
Yeah. On that topic, I do want to say that for USYD, this was definitely a much quicker execute by them. The fact that we already seen a very relatively fast entry right onto site, and the fact that they managed to drone it out and figure out that, well, nobody's actually watching Moto, was a really good read. Unfortunately, though, for Kadeem, he wasn't able to find that Maestro who had the perfect lines of sight to shut down both the hallway push and the straight up peek from the church. So there's a few ways that could have been improved, but definitely USYD are making quite an effort and are already moving from, what was it, a 1v3 to a borderline a 1v1. Worked out so far relatively well, although
5 seconds to go.
so much effort, but to no yet round win. So maybe this one will be the big one now that this is kind of the tertiary side. We do see the some of the more experimental introductions in the face of a Rooney now being brought on board, and for USYD, maybe this is going to be kind of the make or break kind of situation, seeing as they are defaulting back to the lineup, well, a slightly modified lineup that they've been running so far for both of the sites. But instead of Sophia, we'll be seeing an Ashe.
Yeah, and I think if they can really keep that morale up, I think taking a win here would be a great morale booster. I think they've really improved, as you've mentioned, over that, that last round, really able to get it so much closer. And if they keep on the same trajectory, RMIT Purple are really going to be struggling, because, if they don't change it up, right, USYD will be able to eventually just overtake them. They got so close, and they were just that little bit off. Interesting that we are seeing the Frost here. I think Frost is actually quite a common pick for this particular site, as we see those Frost mats on that gym window and also a shield onto that bedroom window. It just makes getting through those windows so much harder when you're looking at the floor. If you're looking at the floor, you're not looking at whoever's shooting at you, and that just makes it very, very difficult to actually, take out a player and get in the building. It looks like it's going to be a push from this Jacuzzi side. Maverick once again opening up this wall. Bandit has been brought this time, no mute, so we'll need to get rid of those Bandit batteries. But we do have a ace here, so we'll make opening that wall a little bit easier. And it looks like finally that wall has been cleared off, and they will be able to open this wall. The first wall opened, but only a minute and a half to go. I'm a little worried that their time management might not be so good again.
We'll have to see. Already, and the initial frag does go into the hands of RMIT Purple, and that is Borky out of the equation. The IQ now gone from the matchup. Relatively quickly and without any kind of retaliation from USYD it is indeed going to be an issue to deal with. Kadeem now has a perfect chance here to cut off any rotations for anyone who will be coming back from construction or from the cash room, and this could come in handy, but he needs to keep his position relatively active here and try to maybe force a few of the defenders to try to swing him rather him swinging back at them. But now Damtowel is looking to be the person to try to go get some of these frags. Kadeem absolutely clueless about the positioning of Smoke, but no, that's a double kill from him. An absolutely flawless execution there, and the third kill to follow suit here.
And it looks like it's all falling apart for RMIT as it's a 4v1 now. Last player locked off site, managed to get one, but can he get some more? Just managed to call out of the site, and Diffuser has gone down now. He's got to find a lot of picks, and he's only got one door to work with, and that angle, I believe, is being held, and Simple is able to finish that off for a first round win for USYD. Definitely a much better performance here, if a little bit last minute. I have to admit I was concerned for their time management, but they managed to just collapse onto that site in very, very fast fashion, and able to take that bathroom area, which I think was the most crucial. So definitely well done to Kadeem there, getting those 2 picks. Swinging in as well with, I believe it was Damptal on that Nomad for a great pinch to make sure that site was secure and no other players could actually rotate back onto it. So definitely well played there. As we see, RMIT will be heading back to CCTV. They did win this site the first time and quite handily. So definitely a confidence booster for them if they can take this once again. 2-1 now, so not a terrible result for either team. But it is, the second half of this defense. So usually on a defender-sided map like Clubhouse, you want to be going at least 4-2. 3-3 might be what USYD could hope for at best, I reckon. But if they can get any more than that, I think that's definitely going to really help them moving into that next half.
Definitely, and I do want to actually point out a pattern that I've been starting to notice ever since round 2. For RMIT Purple, they seem to be focusing quite substantially on a certain one push, but the moment USYD were able to drone out and figure out that, hey, say for example in round number 2, nobody was watching Moro. They just pushed in, got the few frags, and this could have been in round 2. It could have been an absolutely catastrophic failure for RMIT Purple. And Jim, it was the push at the logistics office that has not been covered in any shape or form, and that's what actually scored that kind of the breakthrough for USYD Roaring Thunder. So I feel that if RMIT won't be able to patch up these holes in their defense and the fact that they just not gathering enough information for the flank, this is where I feel they might actually fall through, and this is where USYD will be able to take advantage.
Yeah, as much as this game is defender-sided, so to speak, there is also the fact that attackers only need to find one weakness. They just need to find where that one weakness is, and they can get onto the site. The defenders have to cover all of them, and I think, as you mentioned, the defenders weren't able to cover just that one point, and that was that jacuzzi and logistics office, and that gave Kadeem and Damptal just free reign to run onto site. So hopefully they have things figured out a little bit more. With this particular site, it is a little easier to predict where players will be coming from, and Last Fire will indeed predict Kadeem as he gets a headshot onto that entry frag. The MVP of last round will be playing no more for this particular round. Getting the wall open now, a minute and a half left to go. That's good time. Bork able to even it out, gets a headshot onto Taco. Taco has been the opening frag, I believe, both times on this particular site. But Deep, once again, free reign. He can throw C4s anywhere he wants. I really hope they're aware of him or try to clear him out. Otherwise, it could go the same way.
Yeah, Deep could definitely throw in a spanner in the works. It doesn't look like Bork is actually expecting a flank to come around from that far away. Last Fire, could be punished very severely here, but luckily for him, the pre-fires won't be connecting Deep. Unfortunately, too impatient on that trigger discipline, will be tagged up quite severely, and Bork is the one to actually come out victorious here. Another swing will be coming out, and Borky trying to find that shot, but can't seem to land it just well enough. As Deep is forced into that kind of defensive roaming, I suppose, whilst he's being hunted down. But that is draining quite some time. It is forcing the rest of the rosters to play in a 3v3 manner. But right now, oh, if Deep actually pushes into construction, he could score a very nice exit frag straight onto the Nomad. And oh, unfortunate timing will be the end of him.
Last fire, however, able to take out simple damp, gets a refrag onto that player on top of red stairs, and another one onto that garage catwalk. And now suddenly it's a 3v1. SweetX able to get another one and makes it a second, I think. So it's a 1v1. The plant has to go down now. Damp just holding this angle. He's watching for that kill. Gets hit by the smoke, and oh no, he's gets hit.
No.
But he manages to get that kill. Wow. Okay, I did not expect him to win at that range with an ACOG against a smoke shotgun. That is not something that I would expect him to have won there. And definitely well played there, I have to say, by Damp. Just going for those pushes and just going, you know what, forget this. Forget going through that main breach. I'm just going to go through construction and able to get that frag. And I think, as you mentioned, it's those small things, those minor things in the defense, that those small holes which USYD have been able to exploit and able to take that win. They, you know, everyone expects a push to be coming through that breach, and I think we expected that as well. And I was going to comment on the fact that they were spending a lot of time just sitting outside, you know, waiting for things to happen. But yeah, fortunately, Damptail able to push in and get that frag off. So we'll be bringing it to a 2-2, and USYD have taken 2 rounds in a row. So definitely well done to them, and they brought it back to an even scoreline. So really, this could go either way now. All the sites have been refreshed. They can go back to CCTV. They've gotten a hang of how each other play. And so I think this is past the warm-up. This is where it really starts to get real, and, you know, players start really to, you know, send it and really get the game on.
Yeah, I definitely think that we finally kind of, way past the kind of feeling out for each other's strategies kind of phase. Definitely looking like USYD Roaring Thunder has managed to adapt really well. The push by Damptail, I'm still very much confused. How did he survive a full-on shotgun shell to the body? Because on our end, it did look like the shotgun shot was pretty much right dead center on the body. But it is what it is. USYD do manage to claim that very nice victory, although it definitely looked shaky. A 1v3 to go into a 1v1 against the smoke and that kind of engagement, that is definitely quite a gamble that one could really take. But hey, for now, the up next side, it has been already locked in. That is going to be CCTV and Cash, so RMIT Purple will get to retry their hold here. Slight difference is now we are going to be seeing Legion, so I'm assuming Taco will be playing possibly a bit more of a anchor role, at least in the first half of the game, trying to spread out all of his goo mines as much as possible around the site, or maybe just close by to the site. And apart from that, the rest of the roster looks just about the same from the attack of USYD Roaring Thunder. Now, they have actually taken quite a departure. Not only they have switched from the Ace and Maverick combo, which has been actually working out quite well for them in regards to the breaches. The Hibana and Thermite are a very, how should I say it? They are much more dependent on IQ and Zephyr to open things up. So maybe it's a slight change of pace going to be for them, but that is yet to be seen. For now, though, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go on a short break as we are just changing things around and making sure that the rehost will be just about as clean as it possibly can be. So stay tuned, get yourself some quality beverage, maybe grab some Chatime, maybe grab some Indomie, and
I think it's a great time to actually go cook your Indomie, right? You know,
Exactly.
a couple of minutes, perfect time to get your noodles on. I actually remember when I was back in school, we used to give them out as prizes for, you know, some camps and events, because everyone loves Indomie. Like, you can't go wrong with them, right? It's just the best. So, you know, definitely treat yourselves, guys. Go get some Indomie and go get some Chatime, and we will see you shortly.
Alrighty, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the AEL Week 3. We got the RMIT Purple versus USYD Roaring Thunder. We just finished up with our rehost, and we'll be getting back into the matchup straight away. Currently sitting on a solid 2-2 scoreline. Spud, how are we feeling so far about this matchup? Do you reckon the fact that RMIT Purple may be their kind of initial, I suppose lead in in the reputation, or some of these possibilities could be still affecting this matchup, or do you feel like USYD now finally kind of clawed their way back in, and this is looking like a very well-versed matchup?
Oh, for sure, USYD definitely have kind of picked up that confidence and that pace. They've gotten things a little more coordinated, and they've been able to kind of pick onto those weak points of RMIT's defense and really, spearhead into those weak points. So definitely a huge improvement for over those first few rounds. And RMIT Purple are, starting to struggle. However, I still feel that RMIT Purple is very consistent, predictable but consistent. And if USYD, just makes a little bit of a mistake, it could really hurt them in the long run. And RMIT Purple just know their defense set up very well. They know where they're playing. They've just got it, all down pat. So definitely could still be very even. And I think that's the type of game we're going to be seeing here. I think it's going to be very even, maybe 7-4, 7-5 even at this point.
Ooh.
But we are still in the first half. We have only seen 4 defense rounds, and we haven't seen USYD Raw perform any defense yet. So it could change once we go into that particular half. Again, once more, we see some roaming here deep. Again, with that deep roam, as his name suggests, Last Fire also playing on some of these stairs to give a little bit of backup. Again, if USYD manages to drone this out and realize that 2 players are off site, could actually give them an advantage here, only needing to focus on those 3 players who are still holding onto that garage and red stairs.
Definitely, yeah. I do think that if USYD do read into this play correctly, they might just be able to execute without even needing to really deal with some of these roamers. But Last Fire already managed to push back, so now he has a little bit of a cheeky angle to play there to try to deny that jump in by the Nomad, because Damn Towel previously has been an absolute menace to really deal with. So quite possibly this could be an issue to deal with. Now, Deep is actually also rotating over, so could definitely help here. And I did mention this before we went into an overtime break. USYD Roar actually changed up quite a fair bit. Not only for Damn Towel, we are seeing a departure from an ACOG onto the Holo ARX, as well as that we do see the introduction of Shanks back onto the Hibana, as well as that Simple D on the Thermite. So no more of the Maverick and Ace combination. We back to the very kind of veteran combo, and it actually so far worked out pretty well. The breach has happened quite successfully. Kadeem is onto Ash, and he might just be able to quite possibly find a few frags here, as Damp already taking quite a substantial amount of damage here.
And a minute left on the clock, and no players have actually been down. SweetX and Damp have taken damage, but no one's actually lost their life yet. So still 5 guns all on board here. So a very explosive finish to this round is to be expected here. Kadeem looking to pick up these red stairs, holding this angle, slowly crouch peeking. Not sure if they're aware. He sees the head, but he doesn't get the shot. Nanami with the shotgun takes him out. Borkybok gets a refrag onto Taco, and that's 4v4 now. 30 seconds left on the clock. Gonna have to speed things up. Simple still holding outside. What are you doing, man? You gotta get into sight. Drone's coming out now, and Garage has actually been vacated. If Shanks and Damp Tower realize this, they could actually run right into this, but 20 seconds left on the clock, and Borkybok takes out another. Coming up these red stairs, will he be able to find a third? He's peeking around with the shotgun now, gets a third, and it's 4v2. Smoke is down, but so is the plant, and Jaeger now fighting against, and Borkybok makes it 4. Will he be able to get this ace? And he does not. Shank's able to get that last one, but Borkybok proving that he's not just all bark, he's definitely got a bike, and got a huge bite for sure, and that's a 4K for Borkybok, just running rampant on that site, taking out all those players, and RMIT not able to hold on to that. And unfortunately, I have to say, it looked like RMIT were just playing quite passively there. Given that the amount of time left in the round, I feel like that wasn't a terrible choice. They did have, those shotguns holding close range, but they did end up peeking Borkybok one versus one, and just really gave him that time to, take that gunfight, especially with that 2x sight. And ultimately, that led to their demise. They just didn't have any players left on the site at the end to go for that, to protect that bomb site. I do, however, again, emphasize the last-minute nature of that particular attack. Very explosive last-minute nature, but if I were USYD, I'd want to do things a little bit earlier. Just give yourself a little more breathing space, a little more margin for error, because Clubhouse, one of those maps that really has so little margin for error. It's such a small, claustrophobic, especially that top floor site, and just one mistake and that's the entire round.
That is true, but it feels more so like USYD are playing off the fact that they're waiting for RMIT to get aggressive, to go for some of these peaks. The fact that Borky was able to get a kill onto, I believe that was Sleep. Oh, sorry, the Sweet Dreams, not Sleep. Who was on Smoke, who decided to, for some reason, swing that opening whilst the Borky had the angle. Pretty much just describes how USYD so far played. They playing for kind of counter aggression, and they, instead of trying to push themselves, they are waiting for RMIT Purple to get hasty. They're waiting for them to get too impatient, and this is working out perfectly well for them. I mean, Kadeem was able to find a few good openings with his utility. The breaches have gone down very quickly, so for USYD, they've been presenting themselves with all the perfect opportunities. It's more so just a question about how well or how many mistakes will RMIT Purple continue to do, because this is where it's going to be kind of the make or break kind of thing.
Definitely for both teams, those small mistakes are what can cost them the round. And so far, these last few rounds, we've seen the mistakes from RMIT cost them the round, but we've also definitely seen mistakes from USYD cost them the round as well. So it's not just a matter of who does things right, but who does things less wrong as well, if that's one way to put it. Hatch is being opened up now onto this bottom floor, and it looks like we also saw some of dirt being opened up as well. So it looks like it's going to be a bit of a split push here. Lots of players anchored in this Arsenal site, but will be joined up by Kadeem. He's got Z-pings on him, but no pressure coming down from above. Kadeem will be just letting his teammates know of that precise location, but no one really in a position to make use of it, except for himself. He's actually all the way onto site on this dirt tunnel now, and he's going to have to be careful, because I don't think he knows about this play behind the box, holding that angle now, but this time a little bit more careful, not going for that peak. In fact, he's not even looking that way, so it could go either way. If looks the other way, could end up losing his head.
At the moment, it looks like they're just setting up a few crossfires. They have still a minute to go, so plenty of time to really set up themselves for a push. Dem Towel does exactly that thing, manages to punish Nanaman for going for that peak. But yeah, look, overall, I'm liking what the RMIT Purple setup has. They have the Aruni, who plays as kind of a makeshift kite, I suppose, to prevent the jump down. Shax to find the kill on Tatako as well. That is an issue for RMIT Purple right now. With Deep finding a few frags and last fire as well, this could be equaled out pretty well, but right now 3v2 is definitely looking a little bit rough, seeing as last fire is also downed.
And they've actually got blue site, and they're actually going for the plant now. And Deep is locked off site on purple, on this motor area, but if he manages to get through blue, it could actually be huge. But Borky is watching this. He's crouched Deep, able to get one, but able to get a refrag. And Kadeem, with that last frag grenade, able to take the round once again for USYD as they take the lead. 4-2. Well, I guess I predicted it. I said it would be, 4-2 perhaps. I just didn't expect USYD able to take 4 attacking rounds on a heavily defender-sided map. So definitely, as we mentioned, they've really picked up the pace from those first 2 rounds and really gotten into the roll of things. And once that momentum turned, it has not let up. 4 rounds in a row, I believe. Yeah, it is 4 rounds in a row. That's awful. And in fact, every round apart from that first round, able to get that diffuser down. That's a lot of plans. Apart from the 3rd round. Yeah.
No, it's
something
definitely. Yeah, it's a very interesting so far pattern that they are following, and it certainly has me quite curious about this matchup, because on paper RMIT Purple actually had worse stats so far throughout the season. They have 1 loss, 1 win, albeit that they are seated higher in the league. But for USYD, they actually don't have a loss to their name. They have a draw, which they've managed to win out. Give me a moment to have a look. It was, I believe, against the Dropouts, which is a team that is seeded number 4 in the league. So right up in that same kind of plus-minus-1 position in seedings for USYD, and they have 1 win to their name as well. So they're definitely looking much more confident on their positioning here, and even if they do end up in draw here, yet again, say RMIT Purple takes the dub on the second map, USYD actually would be still in point advantage here above them.
Definitely, for sure. And I think this is going to be a huge confidence booster as well for them going into further matchups. I mean, they took on that second-seeded team while being fifth-seeded and able to really take it to them. I do want to mention that this map was USYD's pick, so that may be playing into a factor here. So I would really like to see how this plays out, whether these dynamics are going to be much the same once we get onto Oregon. But before we do that, we're going to have to see the second half of this map. Ash able to take out the utility, but loses her life in return, and Bork able to get the first onto Deep. Deep able to do so much damage as a roamer, and Bork showing him that he too can do that as well. And that's no reply from RMIT, and that's going to be a definite dent in their plans as they lose their first entry fragger.
Indeed, and losing out already on last fire as well to a C4. Now that is a definite banger here for USYD Roar. Definitely looking very solid here and looking to shut down any push very early into the matchup. Kadeem now possibly could actually get a nice solid run out here, but will be missing out on the timing. Tries to go for that, and the C4 flies in. Can he hit it? No, it won't. It actually got stuck on the side of that ceiling. But look, overall, already in the first half of the round, catching 2 frags without any even damage to the HP pool is a fantastic setup here for USYD Roar. So quite possibly the fact that it looks like they might have just done their due diligence and done all their homework and just prepped really well for this matchup.
Yeah, it looks like they're starting to work this wall as well now and starting to plan for this execute, but USYD just have to, play safe. Unfortunately, Kadeem does lose his life to Sweet X. That's still a 4v3 advantage and 50 seconds left on the clock. That's not a lot of time. Enough, but not a huge amount. And so USYD just really need to play a little careful here. Just don't go for those overly risky peaks. And really, they've got this in the bag, I feel. But if anyone can take it back, it will be RMIT Purple. But Bork proves me wrong once again, gets a second, and Sweet X goes down as well. Sweet dreams indeed, as it's 2 players left outside the breach. 30 seconds left on the clock, and they're going to have to go for this execute. They can't just sit there all day. Able to get some shots on the simple, but he has his smoke canisters. He's got a lot of utility to work with, and this is not looking good for RMIT Purple.
Not at all, yeah. Already so much utility being dumped, and they will be forced to jump in through the smoke to try to push in, but right now completely oblivious to the position of Goyo, completely unable to get rid of Simple D, and that is just an absolute wrap-up on round number 7. USYD doing absolutely sensational work there for themselves, really, and pushing their advantage in points even further here.
Definitely, the feeling I got from that round was that USYD was very much firmly in control the entire round. As an attacker for RMIT, they really need to be taking that initiative and dictating the pace of that game. But I feel like they spent a lot of that time just responding, and a very aggressive defensive setup from USYD, able to really get those opening picks and not be punished for it, I think, was that biggest downfall. No refrags coming out for those first 2 opening picks, and it was only quite late that the first pick came out for RMIT Purple. Ended up being a, only lost a single player that entire round for USYD. So definitely very well done. And RMIT Purple need to do something new here. They can't just let USYD keep on building up like this. They need to switch it up. They need, they need to just look at themselves, take a deep breath and say, we can do this. And I definitely think they've showed us that potential. They've done very well in some of these rounds, and they've got some great fraggers as well, great players. They just need to just take it up to that next level and just keep ramping it up. Because if USYD keeps doing this, they're going to get away with this map.
Definitely. Gotta point out as well, score-wise, this is a very rough game for Taco. The person who was picking some of these
Oh
operators
no.
that could be very uh, very important ones, but yeah, definitely a James Bond theme is lurking somewhere out there. And thank you, Notary, as well. But yeah, look, quite unfortunate turnout for Taco. Not a single assist, not a single frag yet to find himself. But yeah, hey, at least he could say that his name is Bond. And that he's getting
Yeah.
killing.
Special agent. I've always wanted to be one, just not quite like this.
But yeah, memes aside, though, this definitely looks like RMIT Purple. They had a very solid beginning to their matchup, but just weren't really able to keep the grasp in their hands very firmly. They weren't able to close out some of those gunfights. The trigger discipline was definitely looking a little bit shaky there, and it's just a whole lot of those issues just piled up more and more, and kind of from there on, well, here we are at 5-2 scoreline kind of thing. For USYD though, I genuinely we could see them adapting round by round from round 1 to round 4 to round now 8, and they were able to very consistently trim down on some of these mistakes that they've made starting from round 1, and now, well, it's borderline flawless defense from them now.
Yeah, Borky Bork definitely has been a real MVP here. Look at that, 11 kills and just able to do so much damage. And he continues to do more damage here, denying some of this drone work from Nanami. And I'm not sure he even knows. It looks like those visual vibes were a little displaced here, and Borky Bork could get a free pick here. But I think he has been spotted out, starting to go for that entry now. And that's still a lot of time wasted, a minute and a half, and no progress onto this building. And yeah, I don't know where the attackers are. It looks like they're all still fairly loose control of this map. And if they're going to execute onto a site like basement, they really need to hurry it up. Borky Bork still continuing to play games here. He takes some damage. Will he be able to find a pick? He does not. As Taco able to rack up his first one onto Borky Bork, taking out the MVP. Definitely a great first pick for him.
Indeed. Finally does manage to find his footing on the scoreboard as well. But look, the big thing here that has been achieved by Borky Bork, he wasted almost 2 minutes of the timer here, and now USYD Roar are at a very powerful position where they know that RMIT Purple will be very much struggling for time. They know that the attackers will have to really force their push whenever the time comes, and this is where USYD Roar will need to really play their cards right. They need to time it well. They need to time their peaks, because right now already, look, Deep is running into those ghoul mines whilst getting peaked from a variety of angles, and right now he needs to contest all of them, and it is an issue here for RMIT.
Well, Simple almost takes a frag grenade, but takes a few bullets instead. Definitely still gets away with his life. And it looks like this push is coming down those main stairs. Triple wall still completely reinforced. And with not much time to open that wall, it's going to be a bit of a rush here. Damptail able to get one. Also peeking this breach now, gets a second onto that Yana. And it's 4v1 now. Oh my, this is not going well for USYD. And Shanks able to finish that up for a very good round for USYD. Once again, taking that defensive half quite handily, and this is definitely well played from USYD, and RMIT are really looking like they're struggling here.
Indeed, match point already for USYD Roaring Thunder. And look, the first map is certainly looking very dominant from them. If they do wrap up right here, right now on Gym Bedroom, this is going to be a very dominant scoreline for them to kick things off. For RMIT, they will need to start thinking, what do they need to do on their map pick to at least make it a draw, because right now this is seeming like a very tall order for them to try to claw their way back to a 6-6 scoreline and push it into overtime, which is a whole story in its own entirety. So right now for Gym Bedroom, an Aruni Castle combination. Now this is what I like to see, because not only this is going to be a double trouble for the attack to deal with, because, well, you need to get rid of Castle first, then you need to drain the Aruni, and then another sandwich of Aruni Castle is there on the other wall as well. So overall, this is definitely going to be an issue for the attack to deal with. Hopefully they do, or rather thankfully they do have plenty of utility to use to drain, but in that said, after that drain, they won't really have a whole lot of utility to try to wedge out some of these defenders out of their positions.
Yeah, we do see the Yana being brought here, and Yana has actually seen a lot of play recently, I've noticed in Pro League. Now that Aruni is here, the Yana drone is able to actually clear out that Aruni gate, and that's where I've seen her really being used, and especially with those 2 frags and the Gon 6 as well. That's just so much utility being brought, and indeed, Last Fire has brought that Gon 6. So, looks like he's well prepared, he's well versed in this meta, and he's ready to take out some of these gates. It looks like these gates are actually being placed on this jacuzzi wall. Looks like it's going to be very much a hard hold on this jacuzzi site. A shield as well on those main stairs to hold this, and so much utility dumped onto this particular site. I do worry though, if RMIT does read into this particular defense, much like USYD, they could choose to pivot and attack a different angle. Not much has been spent on this particular CCTV site. Wall on the CC is soft. There is the wall in between, which is reinforced, but only one player, and I don't know if he has any support as well. Really close by, but not quite close enough to get that peek. So if you know, could actually come through the CC site instead of actually jacuzzi.
Well, for Aruni, yeah, she has at least the peaking point, so she can actually cover Bork here. So I definitely think that Namtable has a really strong ground to play around here. Kadim as well on the downstairs roam could certainly throw in a spanner in the works, as well as that. Oh, he got really close to needing to get into the gunfight with Sweet Dreams, but for now that won't be the case here. Deep right now on a solo crusade, I suppose that's probably the way to really call it, will be there to try to find some sort of an opening, but it seems like right now he's being kept at bay, and it's more so just a hunt for Kadim right now, seeing as the call-out did go out. Deep did drop down, I believe, back into the garage. No, he's still back here, so the push needs to happen. The breaches are about to start happening, rather, and already the info that the defender is still there will be played out, but Bork just has the superior angle. But do they expect the push from Hibana now? That is the big one.
I think Bork does have his eyes on, but Hibana does have a lot of options to work with, and opening up those walls is going to open up so many more angles. But as we've mentioned before, with that roam, just wasted so much time, and even this one or two players, just done so much damage, simply able to do some more onto Last Fire, and now it's not looking good. Flashbangs coming in, they're trying to take the CC site, this cache area, but that is not the site. Runs in, is he able to, no, doesn't quite catch Bork, and Bork, just a real thorn in the side of RMIT right now. He's just done so much slowing down, so much delay, and he hasn't even moved, but it will be his feet that gives him away. Sweet Dreams able to take out Bork. 4v3 now, but 20 seconds left on the clock, and no progress has been made onto site. Namami, however, able to get Shanks, and he's all alone on this jacuzzi site, gets refragged by Kadim. 3v2 now, 10 seconds left, looking to make entry, but Kadim denies that wall, and there's just one player left, has to go for the site, and there's nothing he can do now. He has to go for it. It's now or never, and it looks like it will be never, as Damp Towel takes out Taco for USYD Raw to take out this first map. That is a 7-2 win. Definitely not something I predicted here. You know, we both spoke of this as much closer. We thought it'd be, 7-4, and if anything, looking at those seedings, it should have been RMIT, but no, USYD have really shown us that they are not to be trifled with. 7-2 against the number 2 seed in their group is definitely nothing to laugh at. It is serious now, and I think RMIT definitely will be, having to rethink how they went and really having to pick it up this next map. They don't want to be losing another map. They need to bring it to at least a draw.
Definitely, yeah. For RMIT, this is going to be now a storyline of them needing to claw their way back into a draw. No longer a win is even remotely close on their minds. But yeah, I gotta say, this is a very dominant series from USYD and a very solid performance. I mean, 7 rounds in a row definitely has shown us that they are prepared. They've done their homework. They've prepared the clubhouse really, really well. And for Oregon, I genuinely actually think that USYD might actually be able to perform just about a similar feat here. So we'll have to see how things will really work out here. I'm definitely curious if that is going to be the case. But for now, I suppose we'll go on a short break, take a bit of a chill, and give our teams as well a bit of a break as well, and we shall be back in a few minutes.
See you soon.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for map number 2. It is RMIT Purple versus USYD Roaring Thunder. Cthulhu and Spudoom on the mic yet again. And Spot, we've witnessed a very, very dominant performance from USYD, and they've shown us that they've done quite some homework for their own map pick. But now that we are going to be going on to map number 2, that is the pick of pardon me, I've just had my ears absolutely obliterated by the lobby. But now that we are going to the pick of RMIT Purple, do you reckon we shall be seeing a similar result here, or will RMIT be able to bounce back?
I think RMIT will definitely have some of an advantage or do better on this particular map. They will be more prepared for it compared to going into Clubhouse. But I do feel that Oregon and Clubhouse have quite similar playstyles, lots of technical work that needs to be done, lots of mini games, and it is a little more defender-sided, and also some of the older maps in the pool. So similar storylines, but I think RMIT definitely have a much better chance, and hopefully they will do much better, because 7-2 is definitely not the performance you want to be showing here. In this third round, there's only 5 rounds to be playing here, and it's just not something you want to be seeing here.
Definitely. Well, here we are going straight into Oregon, get ourselves prepped, and we'll see what's the band's going to be like. Already pretty much a stock standard way of bullying an SAS operator, that is Thatcher. He's out of the equation straight away. Second band to come around, and it is going to be a Maverick pick. So it seems like maybe RMIT Purple, well, partially this could be one of the default bands, partially they've now learned the mistake of letting a Maverick through on the Clubhouse that happened before, and we'll make sure that that is no longer going to be the case. Mira to be banned out straight away. Now that is more so of just a default ban. They don't want to deal with her, and sure enough, well, she's going to be out of the equation. But that does leave quite a fair bit of utility for the attack, though.
Yeah, and I just want to reiterate, 2 hard breaches is actually quite a challenge, especially for RMIT Purple going onto that attack first. Attacking is already difficult, and once you take out that Maverick as well, along with the Thatcher, if you don't play your cards right, you could, be in for a really tough time. Kaid will be our last ban, and that is very similar. In fact, it is what we saw last time. The only difference here is that Maverick has been substituted for that Jackal. Speaking of which, Jackal will be allowed to be played here. It looks like the Siege gods have spoken in favor, and Jackal can be brought, but it doesn't look like it yet so far.
Indeed, it won't be the first pick, it seems. Interestingly enough, actually, RMIT Purple are intending to bring in a Twitch for their means of getting rid of some of the electronics utility, rather than seeing somebody like Kali, seeing as now, well, the Kaid is out of the equation, so you can't theoretically hide some of the hard breach denial utility. So surely Kali would have been one of the ways, but I'm assuming the firepower that Twitch does bring in is also one of the reasons for this pick. Kids Dorms is the one that is actually going to be picked for the site, as compared to Thunder. But looking at the lineup of the operators, probably the main odd one out here, I feel, is going to be Maestro, and even he has quite a very strong ability to change the playfield here for the defense, I feel.
Yeah, definitely lots of intel that can be brought here, and say place it in attic, or even watching that main window. It can really slow the attackers down and make them a little bit more hesitant, and of course able to stop that plant going down. If the defenders play it right and just waste enough time, it could be those Maestro cannons which end up winning the round. Of course, Shanks, we know, is quite fond of that Maestro. I do believe he has played it quite often in the last match, so it could just be a comfort pick, and something that works for him, and that's all you really need. Something that works, and you can win.
Definitely, yeah. Some comfort picks here are certainly in play here. I feel USYD Roar definitely kind of pushing this to be their comfortable match yet again. It seemed that the moment they've adjusted to the general pace that RMIT will bring in over, it seems that that was pretty much all over Red Rover. Now, we do have one person actually roaming down at the laundry stairs, and quite possibly could be introducing some more chaos into the plays. Kadeem is also downstairs around Boiler Room and will be trying to maybe sow some chaos once the push into the attic starts happening. But right now, this is a very, very nasty combo that could very quickly throw in a spanner in the works here for the push of RMIT Purple.
And in fact, Damp is so close to getting that pick. He's looking not quite the right way, but there's no one here. And if he's not heard, it could do so much damage. Attackers looking like they're working in this trophy master bedroom and closet area, opening up that wall now, and it's going to be a single-sided take, so no utility actually spent on opening this attic wall, which is quite interesting. A lot of teams like to open both of them to get that pinch onto that attic player, but it could work out for them. They do have 3 players on this side and 2, so a bit of 2 on the other, so a bit of a split push, but Damp Tower could really put a dampen the efforts here, as he could go for a mean flank.
Most certainly, well, shall see if that is going to be the case here. Damp Towel playing a very careful game here. There is some sort of an inkling that there may be some presence up in Armory, and the Claymore should deny at least give some sort of a notification once the play has been happening. And Borky already kicking things off. That is the refrag onto Deep straight away ever since they've lost Simple D, and that is actually a very huge impact to their utility economy, but it doesn't look like this is going to be the issue. Damp Towel finally with that late flank is there. Couldn't really find the double kill, but that does push us into a 2v2. Borky very low on HP, and right now Tako could very much overpower him here in this position. Goes in for the swing. He needs to assist Nanamin here with a push, but with 23 seconds remaining, this may be an issue with a crossfire now being played. Borky's position has been revealed. Same goes as Kadeem, so at the very least now they know the very relative positions of the 2 defenders.
Looks like one's down, it's a 2v1, but do they know about this? Smoke is obscuring, but Nami able to get a third. Will he get the last one? He does! Wow, that was... what a reversal. RMIT definitely looking like they were not in a good position. A 2v1, but Nanami with that AK-12 able to take out those last 2 players for the first round. Definitely not, as I said, not looking great for RMIT Purple at the start there. Those roamers able to get by the flank watch and that Claymore, and it's, you know, could have really spelled doom there, but at the end of the day, it just came down to gun skill, and Nanami just had more of it.
Yeah, I do also want to point out the fact that I feel that with USYD Roar, they've gotten a little bit too hasty with their push. The way how they've kind of tried to take those gunfights one by one rather than trying to set up crossfires definitely showed a bit of a issue there, and maybe communications between the 2 defenders. So a bit of a misplay from them, but nonetheless, RMIT Purple were able to play off that very case and, well, got themselves the first round. Although quite a very close one in regards to the time as well. Maybe they will be able to perfect their craft here in round number 2, but this is going to be the laundry defense. This is a much more, I suppose, turtle-like site to be defended, and if Simple D won't go down too early into the match, I definitely think that he could make a very huge impact here on the outcome.
Yeah, he was actually the first frag, the opening death for that last round, and so much utility lost very early on, so definitely not something you want to be seeing here. He will be playing that elbow position now, this time very common for that smoke player with the shield, supported by those ADSs, can really slow down any blue push. So hopefully he does have the ADS set up there. It would be a mistake not to put them there. But it looks like mostly a total defense here. In fact, no players on any floor apart from that basement floor. Kadeem holding this blue area quite closely, looking to catch any players who might go for an unfortunate peek early on.
Yeah, finally we do see a little bit more standardized setups. Interestingly enough, RMIT Purple are very keen on just clearing out the top floor first, making sure that no roamers are going to be present. They've learned, it seems, their mistake from the previous map, which has been a little bit of a fiasco in certain pushes, but now they are quite ready and keen. No presence in the meeting room will be found, at least just yet. There are a few players who are just down below, but Kadeem, the very first opening, and that is on an ace. Now that is an issue because Sweet Dreams is now the only last hard breacher there for the RMIT Purple attack.
And speaking of unfortunate peaks, that is one you do not want to be making. Nanami doing well with those frags, but he still needs to open those hatches. Oh, a rush in by Last Fire takes out Kadim for that refrag. Already in this blue, trying to take out that shield, sorry, but does not quite get it. And the smoke is just denying time here. But they only have to watch one angle now since Kadim is off that angle. But Simple actually still playing close. Quite brave here. That's not something you usually do. Oh, not quite able to get that frag. That's going to be unfortunate.
Yeah, that definitely was quite a misplay there from him, and definitely I could see the shot, but if that was maybe more so of a pre-fire, that could have actually worked out way better. All down to Shanks now, and Damp Towel is trying to defend against the trio of RMIT Purple, and right now this is looking a little bit rough here. 55 seconds, so plenty of time for the attack to push, but Damp Towel, true on his sights and on his aim game, will be able to dispatch Taco relatively easily. Now, Shanks is solo right now. Been already told that probably, hey, I'm going on a flank. There's a drop down already happening. The push needs to happen as well here for the attack because Damn Tower is about to just completely demolish the opposition here and plays very carefully around this hatch, gathering information. The moment the push is going to happen through the electrical, this is going to be an issue. Reveals his position as well, and that is it for his element of surprise.
And Sweet Dreams has a surprise of his own already on site now. Shanks able to get him down though, and that's going to be one player left. This push onto site, no, he does not, as Damp Tower gets a nice headshot and wins that round back for USYD. Definitely, again, one of those rounds that, you know, swung back and forth. We saw that opening pick from Kadim onto that hard breacher, a crucial hard breacher, I might add, and a crucial player last round. So, didn't look good for RMIT. They did manage to bring it back, were able to get some of those picks and open up some of those walls, but in the end, just missing out just by a very little bit. I think for both of these teams, maybe a little too close to their liking.
Yeah, certainly USYD that didn't look too particularly excited going into that kind of situation. 2v3, definitely quite a disadvantageous spot, but no, well played by Damp Towel and Shanks. Definitely managed to make their situation work for them. Now, Kids Dorms and Main Hall will be a retry once again, seeing as USYD only just missed out on the opportunity to win that round and looking to redeem that very case. For RMIT, look, they've done a pretty solid job initially isolating some of those gunfights, but it's the last bit of that push, the last kind of few gunfights that seem to have just couldn't go their way really in any shape or form. It was just an unfortunate outcome there for them.
Yeah, I think USYD, they were very close, as you mentioned, on that previous defense here. On some unfortunate early picks, especially onto that smoke, led to their rather untimely demise and a little over-aggressiveness as well with those peaks, as you mentioned. So, you know, I think they'll be feeling good about this. They know they can do this. They know they have the strats. They just need to play a little bit more carefully. RMIT here actually are the ones going to be feeling the pressure. They are on attack, and they know they have to repeat the same thing as last time. They're going to have to make a miracle happen if they, you know, rely on the same things. They're going to have the same problems, same slow pace, which can really cost them. So hopefully they speed things up and really, really work this site and apply pressure a lot earlier.
Well, it seems like they're just about to start prepping to do that very thing. Last Fire already sending his drone without really wasting any more time, trying to bait it out with a normal drone as well for some of the defenders, but quite an easy peek. That's one of the bandit batteries now out of the equation. Same goes for the disable of the Maestro camera, and that is a huge, actually, disposal here. Quite a fair bit of utility now has been disposed of, but there's still an ADS, so that could possibly be an issue later on, but another shock drone is coming right out for the Twitch of Last Fire, trying to just find some more utility destruction, and we'll, after spotting the ADS, should also be able to dispatch of that. But look, for now, it's looking pretty solid at the very least on the utility drain on the side of RMIT Purple.
Also, looking like very much the same attack as we saw last time, going through that trophy area. 3 players on that trophy, and it seems like the last 2 on that attic looking to push through at the last second for that pinch. but they do need to start working onto site. Deep, however, will be able to work a bullet into Damp Tower's head. That bandit is now taken off the board along with his C4. Wall's starting to open up a bit more now, and this pinch is coming down now onto these defenders who really are feeling the pressure here.
100% already. Bits of damage are starting to come out. Damn Towel, though, the player who was able to turn around the previous round, is now out of the equation. But Kadeem with a double kill, though. Now, that is a play that RMIT Purple did not expect at all. And Nanamin is now in a very tricky situation. Doesn't have any coverage, needs to contest multiple angles all by himself, whilst the rest of the team is still on the opposite side of the map.
And that's the Fuser down as well. He's got no way to get back onto it. And that's a really great play there for Kadeem. In fact, it was much the same thing as we saw last time. Again, on this site, the lack of roam clear and allowing those roamers to come up on that same flank, that Armory Stairs flank, really cost them that round. But it looks like they're going to be pushing and pressuring this particular attic site now. They've decided to pivot here now that they know the game site is no longer tenable. Kadeem gets a triple now, but he will be taken down, it looks like. Almost? No, it looks like he's down but not killed, and it's a 1v2 now. Sweet Dreams has to find some sweet dreams, but he will be dreaming of his own as Shanks able to get that refrag and takes out another round for USYD. USYD now finally leading on this map.
Yeah, USYD back into the lead. This is certainly looking very promising here for them. Round number 4 and a 1-2 scoreline is looking pretty solid overall. But gotta say, certainly for RMIT Purple, it's been a bit of a rough game. They do want to make sure that they lock down that roam, those flanks, and maybe an introduction of a Nomad, Gridlock, or even Jackal would be a pretty solid idea overall, but maybe that is a thing to talk about a little bit later. For now, though, we do see the kitchen dining hall, the site that is somewhat similar to gym bedroom on Clubhouse, is considered more so of a tertiary site. So this is going to be the site where it could be the make or break for RMIT Purple to break that curse, maybe see if they can stop that streak, maybe they can stop it and kind of overturn the momentum in their favor. But it's all still yet remaining to be a very large question that is yet to be resolved.
Yeah, it looks like the Goyo and the Aruni gates will be being brought out here, along with that Jaeger. That's going to really help keep some of these shields safe. And it looks like we're going to be seeing a hold in this shower area as well. A very common place to be holding, lets you contest that small tower, that shower corridor, and also rotate back onto site later on. So definitely a very strong position to be playing as well. Mute also coming out here denying some of those wall openings, though I assume they will be opening from above, as is usual. And mostly a, looks like a turtley defense here. Not much roam presence, which has been so far very influential. So I would like to see them repeat it. Maybe they might go for some late flanks, but so far it looks like they're just holding hard onto site.
Certainly looks like that Kadeem might be seeing some sort of, well, some assistance to the Legion of Borky, but apart from that, yeah, it looks like this is going to be a very kind of turtle-like strat. Nothing too unusual, it seems, because seeing as dining and kitchen does require quite a fair bit of player power here to just in sheer numbers to try to lock down the site. Single person presence up top, not a bad idea, seeing as the whole of the kids' bedroom is locked down, so you will need a hard breacher if you do want to open up a few more sightlines. But apart from that, really, this is looking pretty solid. The whole goal here is going to be just try to contest each and every inch of the map before even a single step by the attack is being made here.
But looks like Small Tower has actually been seeded now, only able to kind of peek these last few areas on that window, and looks like the Small Tower as well will be used to open up this reinforced wall from above. He is having a bit of trouble with his placement, has to find the perfect place to put his square. Square will be taking out this wall now, but there are still Aruni gates, and it looks like, I am not sure what happened there. Okay, I've never seen that one before. I have no comment on that.
Yeah, it's definitely quite a departure from the usual holds that we've seen. Nanaman trying to make a few openings, but can't seem to be able to reach a few of those reinforced walls. Maybe this one will be able to do the play, and quite possibly that is going to be able to open up maybe just even a slight bit of the hole in the wall to just even lob a grenade through. But look, right now already only 50 seconds remaining and Sweet Dreams already being put to bed. This is an issue that RMIT Purple cannot afford this late into the round.
Shanks actually doing some late round reinforcing. He has given up the shower site. Borky Bork able to take out Sweet Dreams. And looks like that's a full reinforce there. Interesting plays there. Very reminiscent of what you do on Elbow. So,
Exactly.
yeah. And it looks like they have realized they can't actually get onto this site. Might be able to cut off some lines of sight here, but not able to make their way on. As there's only 20 seconds left, and that, oh no, that mute jammer is still in the way. No progress onto site. They're going to have to just bum rush it now, going for the push now. A little traffic jam in shower corridor, and they're going to go for the swing, and Kadeem is going to get free pickings here. So he gets one, might be able to get a few more, gets a second, and a third with the pistol. Unfortunate, but defenders take out that round 1-4. As that is a brilliant defense and so much time wasted just from getting that wall open and not even getting it in the end. Definitely need to think about that one again.
Exactly, yeah. This whole round and the setup definitely has taken me as well by quite a surprise because just everything that could have gone wrong there for the attack of RMIT Purple, it went that way. And look, looking at the ratings as well, only Nanamin currently is in the positive rating, whereas four players, right? Pardon me, as I've just been told that the streaming can't actually see the overlay, but yeah, look, right now, 4 players out of 5 from USYD Roaring Thunder actually are sitting on a positive match rating according to R6 analyst. But yeah, look, this is so far a very, very solid defense from USYD Roar, and it is kind of feeding into a very solid continuation in their defense on Clubhouse. So this is looking pretty solid here.
Yeah, and if anything, USYD have shown that they're also very good on that attack, on Clubhouse attack. I want to remind you guys, they won 4 rounds in a row, 4-2 on attack on Clubhouse, which is no small feat. So definitely, if RMIT Purple don't get a few more rounds here, they could really see this running away, just steamrolling out of their control as USYD start going onto the attack as well. But in terms of site, it will be back to the basement floor. I believe USYD have actually won every site now, so they do have a free pick. That second floor was their closest one, so they have gone back into this basement site. And it looks like they have reinforced this elbow properly this time. I did notice last time when retreating, they did not actually reinforce it, which was a very close call. Shanks quite nearly lost his life due to that particular lack of metal between him and the enemy. Attackers now will be making their way onto site now, and it looks like a bit more of a big tower take, a bit more traditional than what we've seen so far.
I mean, even just a few attempts at, say, taking, or rather showing some presence in the master bedroom could really do the work. But yeah, since it is not the upstairs hold, this is a good idea from RMIT Purple to try to take control once again of the top floor. They've attempted to do somewhat of a similar thing here, but this time finally it's Deep who actually gets rid of Damp Towel, so the very first frag goes into the hands of RMIT Purple, which serves as a solid beginning for the momentum here. Maybe this is going to be where the play could be happening as well. Nanaman gets tagged up a little bit through the wall by the gas, but look, overall already borderline ready to take control of the elbow as well as the rest of the bunker. Simple D is the only one who is currently standing between that achievement and the team. So curious to see what will later on unravel, seeing as Kadeem still has full reign over the tower stairs.
And as we've seen so many times before, those roams can really do so much damage now. Simple D looking to contest this player here, doesn't quite get the shot off, but his shield and the canister is gone. He's going to have to fall back now. Does he have a reinforcement to work with? Shanks looking to make the big play, and he gets the wall back up. Borky Bork able to pick off Deep as well. And that's evening out back the man count. 4v4, 1 minute left. Again, it needs to be a very explosive entry onto site here. And with so little time, they're really going to have to make things work.
Most definitely. Well, Kadeem goes in with a double kill there straight away. Kadeem once again just absolutely shredding the opposition. Bork to follow suit here as well. That's Taco out of the equation. It's all down to Sweet Dreams, and well, the man is gone. Simple D is the one to finish up the round. And look, right now it's all looking so good here for the USYD.
Man, what could go wrong definitely went wrong there for RMIT Purple. That flank was definitely the play of that round, and maybe even the play of the game. We've seen Kadeem on that Jaeger do so much damage, hitting those flanks so often, and RMIT Purple just have not been aware of that and been able to counter that. He just managed to just walk up right next to what should really have been, a very obvious position, and he was able to take out both those players in blue and instantly alleviate all the pressure from that site. So definitely well done from him. And RMIT Purple, that's a 1-4 here, and this is their last attacking round. Hopefully they do better on defense. Of course, we do mention that Oregon is a little bit defender-sided, but USYD definitely going off, showing RMIT Purple their flying colors here on this map. 1-4. Definitely not a great scoreline to be looking at if you are from RMIT.
Yeah, this is definitely already starting to look a little bit dire here, but if RMIT Purple do manage to get themselves that second point, at the very least it is going to be still workable for them on the second half, albeit not the most ideal setup, but still doable. A 5-1 will definitely be a much more dire situation for them. Obviously, they will be put up against a task to need to perform, well, 4 rounds in a row and score the dubs. Looking for now, though, at round 6, set up from USYD Roaring Thunder, an introduction of Rook with a MP5, I'm assuming with a 2x scope, possibly spelling that maybe USYD Roar are getting a little bit more cheeky. That Spawn Peak should definitely also, if left unchecked, should provide a solid frag and a solid opening in favor of USYD Roaring Thunder.
But looks like there is none to be found here, and Damptower will be getting away. No kills, but also still has his life, and he will be backing off to cause some trouble elsewhere. And as we have mentioned, those roams are able to do so much damage, so definitely could be a repeat of this story. But speaking of damage, those cams always seem to get taken out by this Twitch drone. It's always that same spot, that same Twitch drone. Damptower now looking for a bit of a flank up these stairs, but there's no one to find yet, and no one, in fact, has found anybody yet. Still 5v5 with 2 minutes left on the clock.
Indeed. Quite a slow beginning to the round. Seems that RMIT Purple are still very keen on just making sure that both sides are being opened up already. Walk-in closet has been opened up, and that is a cheeky Claymore spot for Deep, but not yet able to open it up. Surely he'll be able to find that spot, but the laser just can't seem to be able to get through. Punching it, getting a little bit more desperate here, but maybe a repositioning should be there in play, but surely you can get it there. For now, just decides to actively watch the flank, and sure enough, should be rewarded very soon if Damptower will be too quick on going for that peak. So far, being very careful. He knows that there has been possibly a call out that some sort of pre-fire has been happening, so possibly just playing off that information. The Claymore laser hasn't yet gone through, so right now for Deep, this is an issue, and right now, the moment the peak goes in, there's the headshot. That's Deep out of the equation, and so goes on. Kadeem finds the frag onto Taco, and it's all just about to start snowballing into oblivion.
And once again, the flank proves to be the downfall of RMIT. Simple, however, will be taken out as Kadeem gets one onto last fire. Nanami finally takes out Damp, but looks like Kadeem will be taking out this Claymore and starting to go for this peak. Has been given away now, so he will be falling back now, and his position will be watched, but Kadeem lands a triple. Sweet X will be going for those sweet dreams now as Nami, all alone on this site, needs to get some plants, but he has 3 people to find, and Bork sees his gun, doesn't get the kill. Nanami, once again, a double kill. Will this be a repeat of round 1? It will not be. USYD Raw take this last defense half for them and take it 5-1 on defense. An even better performance than their, their clubhouse showing. And this, I might add, is not their map. definitely very firmly in control here. And RMIT are going to really have to, pick it up and hit the gas here because they cannot afford to lose any more rounds.
Exactly. Only 2 rounds away from completely losing it out. And yeah, look, this is definitely looking quite unfortunate here for them. For USYD Roaring Thunder, though, this is a fantastic performance from them. Kadeem as well, probably one of the big MVPs here, I gotta say. Him and Borky been doing some fantastic work. And even then, I could always see on the kill feed Simple D as well, Damp Towel, Shanks. The whole team is performing really well, and it shows. All of them are able to pretty much clutch it out whenever it is needed for our RMIT Purple. This is definitely looking a little bit rough. Some of those gunfights that should have gone their way could not really, unfortunately, conclude that way. But apart from that, really, well, they have all the good theory, they have all the good setups. It's just, it seems like it's the gunfight where they seeming to be failing, and the reading, I suppose, the game plan from the opposite team. Like I said,
yeah, I do. Oh, sorry, I was going to say that. Yeah, I think that's something that USYD have really done well, being able to read into the defense or the attack and really just hit the weak spots.
Yeah, like I said before as well, the fact that both of these maps, both Oregon and Clubhouse, are fairly frequently picked as well. It almost feels like partially this could be attributed to just maybe RMIT Purple being a little bit rusty here on some of their game. Maybe USYD just done a much more prep before the match, or maybe it's just flat out counter-stratting that we're seeing here. So I am quite amused by the fact that Kadeem was allowed so much roaming, seeing as he was very dominant on Clubhouse. Same goes here as well on Oregon, and not much has been really done about that, and not a whole lot of flank watch has been really conducted.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of the weak points of RMIT's attack, but that will not be weak as Deep takes out Borky with a nice headshot. It does take a lot of damage, but he does take out that Sophia, and that's key utility denied as well. Looks like it's going to be a very much traditional take going through that big tower as well. A little bit of pressure applied on this white stairs. Drone's coming out now to deny that white stairs and going to go for this bedroom area as well. So a pinch, two-sided pinch here. Looking to deny some of these defenders their roaming space.
Yeah, look, right now, Kadeem is back on his own shenanigans here, this time playing as the attacker with the Ayana. 11-3, that man is an absolute machine. About to maybe run into Deep, and Deep is not looking too particularly good here with a lack of HP, but a single headshot could really solve that problem. Knows exactly where he is. Kadeem scores his 12th kill. Now that is an issue. No more roam. Maybe a quick peek by Nanamin. No, not a single one just yet. Just holding his trigger here, waiting very patiently for the push to happen. For now, it's really being a bit of a rough run here so far. A minute remaining and the breach yet to happen, but finally we do have that starting things off. Kadeem absolutely clueless about the presence of the Frost and could be potentially taken out, but grenade flies in. It's a perfect one onto Taco, and that is a double kill for him already. 3 versus 4 is in play.
A well-cooked grenade for a well-cooked Taco as Taco eats one to the face. Definitely not something you want to be seeing here, as it is looking so much in USYD Brawl's favor. They have lost 1, but traded out for 2. And Kadeem just doing so much damage on these white stairs, able to cut the site in half. Now he's looking for that last roamer here. Last fire looking to fire upwards, but Damp Towel gets another. Upward shots do miss, and it is 1 player left for RMIT Purple, and he needs to find all 4 or the diffuser in order to get this round.
Indeed, last fire is the last man standing, but that gets wrapped up really quickly. USYD Roar finding themselves their 7th round and already sitting on a match point 6-1. That is a wrap up, even harder than Clubhouse, and it's looking like it is just an absolute washout here. RMIT Purple certainly looking like they're about to suffer that 2-0 yet again. Can't seem to be able to close out their rounds, close out their gunfights, and it's all just snowballs from there on. Whereas USYD Roar, definitely have impressed me quite substantially here throughout this whole matchup.
Yeah, and I do want to mention if we look at the seedings again, um, RMIT is seeded second here in this group, just behind Uwu and SW, and USYD Raw is seeded number 5. So there's not a small gap between them here, and so definitely USYD came into this as the underdogs, and I have to admit I really thought RMIT Purple would win, but it looks like USYD Raw have just really thrown those expectations out the window. It's just gone completely the other way, and even my expectations of at least a close match have gone. It's 6-1 match point for USYD Raw, the underdogs here, and that's not going to be feeling good for RMIT Purple, who really will be kicking themselves some of these mistakes that they've been making and some of these gunfights they've been losing. But there's just no more room for error here. They need to take these next rounds. They need to take 5 rounds in a row in order to bring it back to at least an overtime. So definitely a lot riding on this here. And USYD have a lot of space to breathe. Enough, in fact, for Tao to bring out the blitz.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious about that one. As Blue Panda would call it, the Tiltec peak pick should be a very interesting one, seeing as blitz could work if played in a very well organized, very well rushed kind of situation, as it seems that right now he's actually keeping his position well hidden in hopes of maybe finding some initial frags by Bork and then kind of snowballing from there once the Melusi charge has been dispatched. So looking really solid. There's the shotgun coming out. There's the flash as well. It's a complete washout. Damn towel. Oh no, that is a lot of damage, and he dies over to the org at the end. That is quite an unfortunate turnout. Blitz for a smoke though. Now that is a very interesting trade out. Nanaman also down, but not out just yet.
And that, not just the smoke, but that key position of elbow. They didn't even have time to reinforce it on the way back. And that cuts the site in half and gives the attackers so much control. And it's really not looking good for RMIT Purple here. They're still playing aggressively and they need to. That's their only chance here. As Kadim makes his way into elbow and starts holding this freezer and pillar angle as well. The pillar player will have to play aggressively. Bork is going to shut him down as well. And the second one on the stairs will take out Bork. It's a 2v3 now. But the attackers are already making their way onto site. The pre-fire is coming out now, denying this angle as well, and the positions have been given away.
Oh, no.
However, Shanks falls to last fire, but Kadim able to frag out that last player, and it's a 1v2, all down to last fire.
Last fire goes in for the pre-fire. Actually does secure himself a kill onto Kadim. Now that is the top fragger as well out of the equation. Still a minute to go, so no need to go in for the plant. Simple D wants to find that frag before even going for an attempt at the plant, because he knows that Last Fire will be able to hunt him down. Last Fire still expecting the ace to be really up close and personal, and right now Simple D actually goes in for a very clever decision to try to go in for the plant, maybe in the laundry room, and rightfully so. Well, we'll keep on going. 4 seconds to go, and should be just about enough before Last Fire makes the rotation, but right now a pre-fire is coming out, and well, Simple D is down and out. There's the quad kill. Last Fire managing to clutch it out for RMIT Purple, break that streak, and quite possibly slow down the momentum here for the opposite team.
I think we've seen a number of times that RMIT Purple winning off the back of these clutches. I think we saw in the very first round Nanami with a 4K as well to take out that win. And here we have, of course, Last Fire 4K as well to take out that round. But definitely not something you want to be relying on. It's great for us to watch, of course, but you can't expect it to happen every time. And had those gunfights gone a little bit differently, this match would have been over already. So definitely a wake-up call for RMIT. They need to get the consistency. They need to make sure they're not letting the attackers just surprise them and catch all their weak points here. And for the attackers, they need to make sure they don't let small mistakes like that through again. The big tower stairs really was their undoing here. Just peeking a little, well, just not winning their gunfights, I feel. There was a lot of opportunities for that, and they didn't quite make it there.
Indeed, well, another chance for RMIT Purple here to try to claw it back out. 6-pick from a Bandit onto Melusi is going to be coming out from deep to see if maybe he will be able to bring a little bit more utility to slow down the push. It seems like finally maybe RMIT Purple starting to figure out the way how USYD Roar are playing on the attack. That very overly aggressive push is there to be essentially counted, and quite possibly a Melusi charge could be the solution here, at least partially. We'll have to see. A single utility usually doesn't really make as much of a difference, especially when there is a very well-played Twitch player as well on the side of the attacker, that is Shanks. Was able to actually deny quite a fair bit of utility and was able to assist his team in pushing without really a whole lot of issues, and need to look at some of the utility that is there.
Looks like we will be seeing players holding in attic, lots of utility dumped there as well. So definitely a key position to be holding. Last fight as well, holding downstairs and looking to maybe make a bit of trouble here in Big Tower, as we did see this was the entry point. And I do believe Bork did lose his life on this particular area. Looking through for those windows, but he won't be able to catch anyone, and he's a buzz. He's just a little worried that he could be being droned out, but looks like Big Tower is already breached. Attackers are now making their way into this building as defenders are still holding onto that bottom floor.
Exactly. Well, already the breaches are starting to happen. The push over into the watchtower has also begun here from the USYD Roaring Thunder. Simple D will be, instead of trying to push the usual master bedroom, will be instead attempting to just get the push happening over at the attic. Completely ignored, by the way, any presence of the downstairs defenders. They do know of their presence, at the very least, of the Melusi. So maybe here, a quick pre-fire by Damn Towel could potentially find a frag, but nobody's yet peeking, and so that's free real estate for the push.
Piano drone coming out now. Bork to follow it up behind the drone. Shots ringing out now. It's going to know there's a player there, but he hasn't quite committed to it yet. Can't quite see the head now, but a shot from above. He's going to retreat and just gets away with his life, as also last fire getting away with that. Both of them just trading shots back and forth now, but the headshot just misses, and a second reinforcement comes up, and Bork is taken out. Kadeem also falls to the same player, and that's two players down, and this is not looking good for USYD.
Yeah, all of a sudden, the whole push is starting to fall apart like a domino house, and whoop, there we go. Damn Towel able to find some sort of redemption here. Bork is still yet to be found and finished off by the defense, but right now he's already on site. Damn Towel has his back turned away to the attic hold and could go in for the swing. He knows that there's some presence, but unfortunately loses that gunfight. 2 versus 3. Make it a 2 versus 2, really, as Bork is about to bleed out, and Shanks is looking mighty low on HP. So right now, health advantage is certainly in favor of RMIT Purple, and quite possibly this is where they start gaining back those points.
And 20 seconds left on the clock. There is not much choice left. None of these walls are open with the mute as well. They're going to have to start pushing in through the single door, and with this crossfight and the smoke grenades and their low health, really not going to help. Last fire, however, is going to help him a little bit more with some nice headshots, and that's going to be another round for RMIT Purple, slowly clawing their way back towards a 6-6.5 at least.
Indeed. Well, main thing here that it seems like kind of starting to take pattern is the fact that it is Last Fire that is doing quite a fair bit of fragging. I mean, he is currently on the top of the rating, as well as that top of the kills, I believe. So this is looking very, very solid here for RMIT Purple's chances to really bring this back and see if maybe this is going to be kind of finally the solution that they needed all this time. But the moment I feel that the Last Fire will go down, the rest of the roster may also kind of follow through, and this could be quite possibly the final round. But we'll have to see a slight change, though, from USYD Roar. Finally, they do see the introduction of Nomad. They acknowledge that the issue of a roamer is certainly in play, and they need to deal with it as quickly as possible.
Yep, roamers have definitely been the bane of both of these teams' attacks. Of course, we've mentioned so much Kadeem on that roam, really wrecking havoc against RMIT, but I think the difference here is that USYD have learned from their mistakes. They've been prepared to deal with it, and they've dealt with that by bringing out that Nomad. They're thinking, okay, well, we just simply don't have that time, and we don't want to invest that time into taking out these roamers, so we'll take the easy way. We'll bring a Nomad, and that's better than doing nothing. And I think that kind of adaptation is what's really set them apart here. They've been able to adapt so much to the defense and also the attacks of RMIT Purple and really bring it home. But they're going to have to really bring it home indeed, because it is 3-6. They have 3 rounds to play with, but if they keep the same pattern going, they could end up losing this. And going from a 6-1 advantage to a 6-6 is not good for morale. You really want to finish this up nice and tidy, dust your hands and, walk away. So, the pressure is on USYD. RMIT, they have their backs to the wall. They have to throw everything they have at it, and they have nothing to lose. USYD, however, that's a different story.
Yeah, for USYD, they have still a bit of a buffer for some of the mistakes, so this is definitely not as severe as, say, for RMIT Purple. Every round could quite possibly be their last one, and, well, quite a difference from the usual stuff that we see. The breach is going to be happening from up top. Shanks making sure that the breach charge will be right above those reinforced walls, and rightfully so. That opens up a really nice hole, just as quoted by Thermite as well. So, look, this is now a solid opening already, a very early opening on the walls, contrary to, rather comparative to what RMIT Purple did on their attack. This is definitely looking very promising here for the attack of USYD Roar.
Yeah, also a very similar setup for both teams, holding heavily in the shower corridor and the showers itself. But Borky is actually just going to go for a peek here, and I don't think the smoke is aware. He finds a shield, doesn't find the player, and now he's going to be peeking both these angles, looking for players who may be unwise in showing their head now. And it looks like they've made their way into the small tower now and looking to start pushing this shower player as well. Ashaj goes out and forces Sweet Dreams to retreat, and no reinforcement coming out this time. Shank's able to get the first one, and he's actually already on site going for the plant. This is not looking good. He's almost done too, and I don't think RMIT didn't know. And is this going to be all too late? 3v3 now, and it could go either way now, but it is definitely in the favor of USYD.
Yeah, well, now the timer is ticking against the defense, and right now they're the ones forced to try to retake the side. It's all down to Deep, and right now Deep is actually being just flung around by those hijabs. This is just the worst case scenario for the poor bandit player, and, well, there we go. The 2-0 victory here for USYD Roaring Thunder. Very well played. A 7-2, 7-3 victory there for themselves, and look, huge congratulations to them, whereas for RMIT Purple, quite an unfortunate turnout, but hopefully in the next few weeks we shall be seeing them improve way more. Look at this, 18 to Kadim, 11 to Damp Towel, absolutely just smashing through the opposition, whereas the only one that has been on RMIT Purple, Last Fire, has been putting in quite some work, but unfortunately just not enough.
And if there was ever an underdog story, this would be it. USYD Roaring Thunder, seeded 5th in their group, going up against the 2nd seed RMIT Purple, with all the tools to work with, all the players to work with, and all the expertise from all the other teams, falling unfortunately to USYD. So definitely well played there by USYD. And RMIT, they're going to be going home. I'm sure they're going to be analyzing what went wrong. They're rethinking their strats, and they're going to come. I'm 100% sure they're going to come back stronger than ever. So this is definitely not the end for RMIT Purple. I'm sure we will see them very much in the coming games.
100%, yeah, I definitely will be keen to see if they will be able to improve on their game. But yeah, look, still a banger of a matchup that was brought on to us today.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely enjoyed watching that. There were some great clutch moments and some great flanks as well, all around. So definitely had a lot of fun just watching it.
But yeah, and that is pretty much, well, going to be about it from us as well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining us for the stream, for this matchup. Huge thank you to our sponsors over at Chatime, AOC, Indomie, and Rig as well. And huge congratulations once again to the USYD as well for their strong 2-0. Thank you all for watching. Thanks to you as well, Spudoom, for joining me, and we'll catch you all next week.